What about now? Hello, check, check. Okay, can you guys hear me now? One, two, check, check. One, two, check, check. Hello. Let me know if you can hear me. One, two, three, check, check. Ah, cool. You hear me now. Excellent. I don't know why that was. Probably because I'm using a different input. So, since you guys didn't hear what I said, let me explain again what I'm doing. Thanks, Doc. Doc just let me know that he could hear me. Thanks, Mission Control. Sweet. All right, awesome. So let me explain why I was having trouble there. So I'm using a room mic so you can hear the Powercab 212, but I'm also going direct from the Powercab. Uh, I've got two stereo lines going direct XLR into my. I'm using a Zoom H6 right now because it has multiple inputs, so I can give you a direct stereo sound from the Powercab. But also, I wanted you to be able to hear the room sound as well. Um, so yeah, guitar is always loud. Here, let me turn this up. Let me know if my voice is a little louder now. So the reason I'm doing that is so you can hear the room sound as well as a direct sound, because the direct sound is always probably going to sound the same on your computer. So that's why I tried to do this, so you could get kind of a mix up of different audio sounds and stuff. So I don't know. Hello, Japan. I turned my voice up, so if my voice is sounding louder now, you guys let me know. This is always like troubleshooting in real time. So it's pretty crazy, but trying to show you guys stuff like this, I just wanted to make sure. I just didn't want to give you a direct signal coming out of the pod or the 212 because I don't know if you can really tell much difference. And I really don't know if you'll be able to tell a difference in the room as it is. But I'm doing my best to show you. So let me show you what's going on right now. I'm going to click over here to my pod editor, my pod go editor, that is. So as you can see, I've got a little preset set up here that I made a while back, and I'll probably talk about this preset some more in the future, or we can just talk about it today and I can talk about something else in the future. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what I'm going to do. But as you can see from the editor, I have the speaker block turned off on here. Now, a lot of times when you're using a Helix or HX effects or any of these kind of modelers that use a lot of impulse responses, and they have what they call DSP, which is essentially just like internal memory. What's up, Michael Allen? I see you out there. Thanks for tuning in, dude. Let me know how the sound is. Glad to see you. And everybody else, good to see all you guys. I'm not seeing any more complaints about the audio, so I'm assuming it's okay now. Anyway, these speakers, speaker cabinets, and amp models and things like that, power amps, all that sort of stuff. They use a lot of DSP, and so a lot of times you can save a little bit of that DSP when you have a limited amount to work with by using the cabinet on your Powercab, because you're going to get that's just going to be memory that you're not using in your processor that you're freed up because your Powercab only does speakers. Okay, so you're not gonna you don't have to worry. It's made to do that. And when you have either a 112 or the 212 or a pair of 112s, which I also have and like to use just to get a really nice spread stereo sound. What's up, Jerry? Awesome way to demonstrate the amp in the room. I hope so, man. Thanks. And like I said, I wasn't. My audio was a little funky there at first, so I hope that this works. So essentially, it's a way to save DSP on different modelers. Now, those of you that have a Pod Go already, you probably know that you're always going to have an amp block as part of your signal chain, but you can turn that off. Okay, so right now, as you guys can see up here, where I don't know if you can see my mouse, but if you look up here at the signal chain, the cabinet block is disengaged, and I do have my my regular amplifier. So let me let me just click over to this thing so I can kind of talk about it in case you guys can't see it too good. I don't know if you can see my mouse or not, but I do have, my amplifier, my head, which I'm using the Soldano, which is a really cool sounding amp. I like it because it's kind of it's pretty high gain, but it's also kind of warm and buttery. And I just like to crank the mids up. As you can see, there's a lot of mids going on here. I guess there's a lot of treble too, but for me, it's kind of mid heavy. I usually use more mids, I think, than recommended, but that's just me. But the speaker is turned off. Now, there's another reason I like to do this. When I'm using something like this live, when I'm using a Powercab, you can set a Powercab to FRFR mode, which is just, flat response. It's going to behave essentially like sound is perfect. Thanks, Christian. Appreciate it. It's going to behave essentially like a PA speaker, which is fine and good. And that actually, that's kind of what that's all part of the game with these modelers and stuff. So it does sound fine. But what we tried to do, let's see. I'm going to get to that here in just a second. What we try to do, Johnny, with the Powercabs, these are built like the cabinet itself is built like a speaker cabinet for a guitar amp. Okay. It is closed back. Some amps are closed back. Some are open back. This is closed back to protect all the sweet and chips and electronics going on in there. There's a lot of technology involved in these, but essentially the cabinet itself, it's actually made of wood, not a plastic composite type thing. It's made of actual wood, and it's constructed in a similar fashion to a speaker cabinet on your half stack or your combo amp would be. So first of all, that's the first thing that goes into the recreation of the guitar sound coming out and helping it move air more like a cabinet would actually move air. Now, the other thing, and this is what I'm really kind of focused on today, the other thing is when you use it in speaker mode rather than flat response mode or FRFR mode, you're going to get more of a true, it's going to react to the sound passing through the speaker cone more like an actual guitar speaker. Okay. And again, that's due to the brilliant minds behind it. I just like to have my shampoo and conditioner in one. I don't really need to know how they do it. But, when it's set to an actual speaker, like when you set it to greenback or creamback or any of the different models in there, it's behaving like an actual guitar speaker. So since we seem to think the audio is working good right now, I'm just going to shut up and let you guys hear what I'm working with. Like I said, I'll go back to the screen so you can see what's going on here. I have the speaker cabinet turned off on my Pod Go, and I just have my head cranked. Now on my Powercab, which I have kind of tilted back here so you guys can see, I've been going through random pairs all day, just playing around, So I've got a pair. This is the green / Almico. So the cool thing about the Powercab 212 is you can, what's up, Chad? You can mix and match the speakers because you have two speakers in here. You can do two of the same, or you can mix and match. Right now I have a mixed and match. So let's just see how this sounds. You guys let me know. I've got a direct line. I've got a stereo XLRs coming out of Powercab as well as my room mic. So I'm going to shut up and see if you guys can kind of hear what's going on. So there's what we're working with. So sorry, Jason, you said there goes the stream quality. I don't know why today, because we're hardwired into the router, so shouldn't be going. It could just be the power that's coming through here. And let me turn down. Okay, so you're saying it sounds bad and swirly. So let me turn down my room mic and see if that helps a little bit. Let me make sure I'm not too loud here. It's really loud in the room. Yeah, so I'll just turn down my room mic. Maybe that'll help. Oh, and it could be just the stream quality. I don't know, but I'll turn this down and see if you can hear that a little bit too. So, sorry, Chad, you're saying that's the stream compression or something. So I don't know. I have no idea why that does that. Guys, let me know if any of that is helping. Trying to give you an audible example of what I'm talking about. And I'm trying to I've got 3 different signals going, starts off great. And then story of my life, man. So, I may try. What I'll try to do now is I'll see if I can turn off the direct ends, which is what I wanted to do originally anyway. And then I'm just going to give you like a room signal. So yeah, nope, it went back, starts fine. We'll try one more thing here and see if that kind of helps with the stream quality, or not the stream quality, but just the sound. So I'm muting my direct ends. So now I've just got a room mic going in. We'll see if that works a little better when it's streaming like this. Can you do direct in, then do room mic? Yeah, that's what I'm doing, man. But everybody's saying that they're getting weird sounds. So, thanks, Johnny. That's a patch that I just kind of threw together myself, and I'm actually planning on talking about that one next month, probably when I do another stream, which I will probably go direct on that stream, so you won't have these problems. But I've got 3 different audio signals coming in right now, so I don't know if that's just like too much for a live stream, but you guys say you can hear it for about 10 seconds at first, maybe 15 seconds. So maybe you can tell in that first 10 or 15 seconds. So I don't have to play longer than 10 seconds at a time. But if you're curious, now I'll switch back and I'll turn the stereo room mic off, and I'll let you hear the stereo XLRs going. So here we go. 3 and 4. right, so that was your direct sound. So it's doing it on Facebook too. Well, sorry you can't. I didn't really think you'd probably be able to hear it that good anyway, online. And as far as the stream, I don't know, guys. I've got like Chad says I played too long, so maybe the first 10 seconds. I don't know. Hopefully you could hear like in those first few seconds what was going on there. I may try next time to use some different mic configuration. This is a unique stream for me. I've never like tried it this way before. Thanks, Johnny. Thanks, Craig. Sounds great. I guess for the first 5 or 10 seconds, you mean? When I'm talking, it's fine. Yeah. Well, my voice is not as powerful as the guitar sound. We will tell you go or stop. As long as you tell me something, as long as you're still here, that's fine, man. That's good enough for me. I would normally not use this method to mic all this out, but thanks, Chad. Well, apparently it's not just YouTube. Apparently it's Facebook too. So, yeah, I don't know. Could just be that there's so much gear going here. Who knows why that is, but I think you get the idea. I hope you do. I wanted to like use a few different speaker combinations so you guys can hear it a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and try that, even though it's a little bit hard. You do sound like an old man. We could try turning it down a little bit. I've got a pretty low level right now, so I wouldn't think that was the problem, but we'll see. I'll turn it down a little bit. Let's see. Everything it's very low. You guys let me know if that changes anything. So I'm going to go to a different speaker too, so we'll see if maybe any of that helps. It could be that I'm mixing speakers too, and it's a live stream, so whatever. So here's just a vintage pair. It's a little bit darker, but maybe you guys can hear a difference here. Specie Christian. That's an interesting name you got, man. Stop. Okay, so you heard that good, I hope. I don't know. And really, I don't know if that really does justice to the difference in the sound. But just for giggles and stuff, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to change the preset. I'm going to actually turn the cabinet on that I'm using, the Cab IR. And now I'm going to go to like an FRFR type sound. See if you guys can hear, a difference. I got so many speakers loaded on this thing. So this should be like a flat. Very different. It's very, of course, that has to do with the cab model that I have going here too, which is, I don't even remember which one I have on here. 4x12 solo lead. So that's a very dark and buttery, sounding cabinet. And it's not as loud too. So you guys might be able to tell, it's probably quieter. That may work better for this stream. So y'all let me know, if you can hear it. Stop. Okay. I don't know if that might have made a difference. Also, is the extension expression input could be used as an aux input. It would be awesome. You like the way it sounded before I switched to FRFR? Um, so does that mean it was probably just darker? And it is darker. And that's kind of maybe in those 10 seconds there, you could tell. It's darker, but it's just not as powerful because it's actually working more as like a PA, a 212 PA speaker. And then when I switch it over to, I also want to just see if I can use the natural setting on here, because the natural setting is like the most realistic one when you, just as far as how it feels when you're playing. So I'm just gonna go to that, see if it stays on for a little while. I don't know. There's a natural setting in here somewhere. I just don't know where it is. You can load lots of other IRs on here too. So here we go. So this is that's a lot louder. So we'll see how this sounds, but it's super loud now. I'm going to turn the room mic down just a little bit. I don't know. So I didn't change anything there. It's just like super loud now. And that's using the natural pair. And that's, that just has the speakers functioning kind of in their natural state. There's no like IR going on. It's not modeling like a Celestion or a Greenback or whatever. It's just kind of behaving like the speaker that it is, which sounds really good in here. Sorry, you guys can't really tell. But we learn every time we do this. And like I said today, normally when I do this, you get a more simple audio signal. So that's maybe why the sound is kind of sketchy today. But let's see. Yeah, right. That's right, Johnny Gonzalez. At least it probably comes across that way. I honestly think that when you're playing live, people out front can't really tell a difference in if you're using FRFR or if you're using a speaker model inside the Powercab, or if you're not using a Powercab at all, you're just going through like a house PA or whatever PA system you have in a live situation. I don't really think the people out front can hear it as much. It's more something you can feel yourself when you're the player, which obviously that's really important, and that's what most of the feedback we get is coming from guitar players who have bought this stuff and use it. And so it's an attempt to try to get it to feel more realistic to guys who are used to just using like traditional tube amps or whatever, because that's usually the biggest critique from people is just they're used to how a 50-watt vacuum tube amp feels on a stage or in their garage or whatever. And when you're using a digital modeler, it's like the sound is not, it's not so much that it's different, but it feels different, just the way it moves the air around it. So you're saying sounds good here too. I'm not sure what you mean, because I think you were saying it sounded kind of bad a while ago. So I don't know if that fixed it or if that's just like the first 5 or 10 seconds you're talking about. The main, if you can take something away, I hope you guys were able to get enough signal from this to just know sort of hear the difference in using like an IR on your Pod Go through a powered speaker of any kind, and then the difference when you bypass the speaker cabinet on Pod Go and use, kind of utilize the Powercab for more of what it's meant to do. So, and I don't know about, Facebook and YouTube running at the same time, because it's like I'm just coming out of here and I'm being broadcast over a couple of different formats. So I don't know about that. It seems like there's always some sort of problem when we do these. So, at least I hope, you're getting a little information out of it. And like I said, the next time I do this, I know the next stream that I do, I won't be trying to show you a live sound through, a virtual setting. I'll actually be going just probably direct in from my Pod Go. So I think that will probably make it a little easier for you guys to hear, just stream wise. But then again, I don't know, because streaming is just a crazy world. So it is what it is. So we'll see. Yes, Eric Porter. It is a very versatile piece of gear. Both of these are very versatile. Thanks for the kind words on my demo. That's really, that's about all the time I have for today. I hope that you were able to get something out of it. I don't know. I know that it's kind of weird with these live streams and hearing stuff, but it's a constant work in progress. So we'll do I'll use a different method. What'd you say here? Man, I just saw like 3 comments go by quick. Exactly why I'm looking into this. I use a Pod Go in a live church setting, and it's not practical to bring in my tube amp. Exactly. The model gives me the convenience, but on stage, I lack the feel of a real amp sound. Yeah, that's exactly what the Powercab was intended for. To give you more of a realistic, feeling sound, and like, in this room, it's really loud, and the difference is very obvious, and that's what I was attempting to do with all this crazy miking, was try to give you an idea of how it sounded and felt in the room. Maybe it didn't work so hard, but guys, I was trying to give you a realistic example. So sorry if it didn't work ideally, but next time, if it's going to be difficult every time, I'll just go direct and shred for 30 minutes, and we can talk about shredding or something. Real quick, what's your guitar? This is my Yamaha Pacifica. Maybe you can see that. And believe it or not, this has become my number 1 guitar lately. I would say probably just because I play it for work, like when I'm doing this kind of stuff, or when we were traveling a lot. I used to travel a lot. All the guys on our team traveled, and we did this stuff live in stores. And this was my number 1 baby that I took with me. So and also I had a good friend of mine back in Dallas, Texas, do a setup on this right before the quarantine, and a few months before I moved to Tennessee. So I just recently moved from Tennessee. So a good friend of mine in Dallas, Texas, actually Richardson, Texas, Gabriel De Hoyos, and he's also on Instagram as The Fixer Man, THA, The Fixer Man. So check him out if you guys are in the Texas or DFW area. He's awesome. He did the setup on this guitar, and he set up 2 or 3 or 4 of my guitars. I don't know. And he does great work. So, between that and just the fact that I play this all the time, this is like my number 1 guitar. I've got the Seymour Duncan, just the standard JB and the Jazz pickups. I do have a coil tap. Other than that, I've got like stainless steel jumbo frets and a rosewood fretboard, and then the locking tuners on the back, and just the standard Wilkinson 6-point trim. So yeah, for Eric, you were curious about the guitar. I think that's this guitar. And it shreds. So gauge size. Yeah, I have 9s on this guitar. So, and I recently just switched back to 9s because that could be a whole other live stream, I guess. But no, these are 9s. I used to use 10s on this guitar, and then what happened was, I guess when I was in jazz school, I started using 11s and then 12s and then 13s, and just heavier. And you get this weird way of thinking that the thinner strings don't sound good, which is silly because it has nothing to do with that. It's all from your hands. But I was realizing some of the other guys out there, like Andy Wood. I actually asked Andy Wood that question, which is embarrassing. But I was like, "What gauge strings are you using on your telly?" Because he shreds, but he's got this sick country tone, and he said he uses nines. So I was like, "Okay, well, I'm going back to nines then because it's just super easy to shred, and your tone is in your hands ultimately. But it also is in your Powercab 212 and your Pod Go. You just have to kind of know how to tweak them and stuff. And we do these every week, but on my next one, I will definitely not do this crazy room mic scenario, and hopefully that will make it a little easier to hear. So I tried, but I think maybe in those first 5 or 10 seconds each time I played, you guys could hear it a little bit and get an idea of what's going on. Sorry if not, but that's the nature of live streaming and stuff. So anyway, I appreciate all you guys. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. I see a lot of names on here. I appreciate the help. I know you guys were trying to help me as far as that audio stuff. Unfortunately, that's just about all I can do. Great chops. Give me lessons. You're in DFW. Okay. Johnny, I see your comment there. I'm not in DFW anymore, but I can do, Skype lessons and stuff like that. And we do Skype lessons through Line 6 as well. If you guys want, any one-on-one type stuff, you can always hit us up and schedule something. We can do like one-on-one things where we can just kind of help you with the ins and outs of these crazy pieces of gear. If they seem confusing, they're really not. If I can figure it out, anybody can figure it out. I'm not a genius by any means. So, let us know. We appreciate the feedback. Sorry about the weirdness with the live stream. Next time I'll do a much simpler setup with my streaming rig, and hopefully you guys can hear everything. I'll just sit here and shred for, I'll talk for 5 minutes and shred for 25 minutes. So anyway, thanks all you guys for tuning in, and thanks for your feedback, and thanks for, your help. And I will see you in a month or so. And then next week, I think we have Ross Bailey, who will be back next week doing one. And he always does good. His stuff always sounds perfect. I don't know how he does it, but Ross will be back. So, and I'll be back in a month with all your critiques in the back of my head. So thanks, guys, and I will see you next time. Adios.